What's up, guys? Welcome to another interview of the Unkaged podcast. Today we have our very own arm wrestling coach and team member here at the Cage Gym,
Chandler
Chandler.
Watson, big
Here,
dog. What's up? Heck yeah. Thanks for having me on the podcast,
of course, bro. Of
Thanks for
course.
having me be a part of the Cage Gym team. I love it here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, bro. So honestly, today I just kind of want the people to know you. Ultimately, like your backstory, everything that kind of led you even into coming into the Cage Gym. So, how'd you hear about the gym?
Kind of crazy scenario. So back in October 2022,
Mhm.
I had to move back home. I was living in Wisconsin for 8 years
I
and
remember him.
I came back and I just got certified to be a personal trainer
Yeah.
and I needed a job. So I was like, yo, let me swing on down to the Cage Gym because you guys had a post on Indeed.com.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
heck yeah, I
I
made
made
it
that
on
post,
in.
yeah.
And then I got hired on as a personal trainer. And then like the first 6 months I was training. And then I remember I kind of decided to tailor it more toward just arm wrestling. So
Yeah, that's right. Because I
heck
remember when
yeah.
you first came in here, like, I think it was like maybe like the first month into training, you asked me if you had like the arm wrestling table and if you could bring it into the gym, right?
Heck yeah, heck
And
yeah.
then you basically brought it into the gym. This is like our very first time like ever experimenting with like a arm wrestling table. And we thought it was dope and we thought it would give the gym more character. So we were like, all right, bring it in, like screw it, like let's have it here. But yeah, that's freaking awesome. So how'd you get
Wow.
into like arm wrestling?
So arm wrestling back in 2018. Well, first let me start off by telling you I was always just like I play football,
Yes, yeah.
strictly football. And I had this ex-girlfriend whose stepdad runs the Wisconsin Arm Wrestling League. Shout out to Lee Bonnet, my man,
Lee, yeah.
Wisconsin Arm Wrestling.
Lee's a goat.
Heck yeah, he's a big guy, real strong, and he's been doing a lot for the sport of arm wrestling for a very long time. And so, anyways, they were trying to convince me to go to a bunch of his tournaments. And at first, I was like, no, I was still in college playing football,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to get hurt, which is almost like everyone's excuse at first, like, well, I don't want to get hurt. Well, the thing about arm wrestling is we keep you safe, and the veterans of the sport are very kind, and even though they want to beat you, they want to keep you safe first. So,
They don't want to break your arm, like literally,
exactly.
on the
That's
first go.
always our goal too. Our goal is not to beat you, it's to teach you.
Yeah.
So, more of the story is I started showing up for amateur events. I would go to like maybe 2 or 3 a year from 2018 to about 2020. And then 2021, I decided to give open a shot, but I would still do amateur and open, which is like the open
Hmm.
pro division. And then eventually in 2022, July, I decided I was just going to do open pro and, really, what's it called? Because I didn't do practices, I would just show up. So
Yeah.
I actually started taking the sport seriously in 2022. And, at first I was getting, beat a lot, but, now I'm pretty good. Not the best,
No,
but pretty
yeah.
good. Hell yeah.
No, I've seen you at matches, dude. Like this guy came up like insanely. Like I feel like a lot of people probably in the beginning probably had you as like the underdog. You know what I mean? Like definitely like you were just going at it, just trying to get your reps in right. But like now, dude, like yeah, like compared to where I've seen you, like way back when you first started here at the gym to now, dude, you've gotten like insanely freaking strong.
Well, thank you.
So
Thank you.
that's insane to see, just like an athlete starting from like basically nothing all the way up until like what you have it to be now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Heck yeah.
but okay, so we know you have like the Desire Athletics team, right? So you mind telling us what that is?
So Desire Athletics arm wrestling. First, I'll start off by telling you a little bit about Desire Athletics and how it got started.
Sure.
So again, in like 2022, well, first in 2020, April 23rd, I had this major surgery. It was what's it called? Laparoscopic colon surgery. And so they took like 11 inches of my intestines and half my colon. And the recovery process was pretty intense. And I didn't do anything for like 11 months. And I like just dwindled down in weight. I was like low self-esteem, didn't want to go to the gym, didn't want to go out and do anything. And then I was like, well, you can either just keep sitting at home and doing nothing, or you can get up and get back at it. And that's what I
Yeah.
did. And so I started doing that. And then all of a sudden I was like, man, if I was able to inspire myself to get back into it, maybe I could help inspire other people. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where the Desire Athletics slogan even came from. Never give up. Got it tattooed right here. So I remember every day. And yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So like I guess when you first started to now, like how has the team evolved? Like who have you taken on? Like who's part of the team, I guess?
The team, man. Well, first off, shout out to the team. I love you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Especially Dan Wiltfong. Got to say my man. Air Dan is what we
Dan the
call him.
man, Dan
But
the
if you guys
man.
don't know Dan, check out the Kage Gym page. You'll probably see him. Anyways, Dan, he's the co-captain of the team, and he's really helped us grow. Rowan, he's a big, part of our squad too. The very first one that we had, there was a man named O'Neill. I call him Coach because he taught me a lot about the sport of arm wrestling. And really, their consistency of showing up every Sunday has really helped build the team. And it really makes me happy, to see that even on days where I'm not able to make it here, they're still showing up, putting the work in, and helping the other guys grow. We got Nate the Specimen. He's a young guy. He's still in high school, but he's making a
He's
big
cool.
name for
Yeah.
himself, right now in the state of Illinois. And a few other guys like Joe Dudek,
Oh yeah, Joe.
my man Joel. He's a big part of the squad now too. And I was just thinking about it the other day. Nate and Dan, they've been coming to the gym since May of 23. And so
Yes.
they've been a part of the team for 3 years now, coming up
Yeah.
on 3 years. So shout out to those two.
That's
And
awesome.
really just the consistency of the team is just amazing. I just can't, I'm proud of them.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it's crazy to see, like, because literally as soon as we started, it was almost like to a degree like you guys also like were starting, and like we were
Heck yeah.
kind of part of that growth as well, like kind of like helping you guys to a degree also as we were also just like trying to grow as a gym, you know what I mean?
Hell
So
yeah.
seeing that growth and seeing that we were almost like a precursor to that and like helping you guys get to that point is like insane, honestly, because I never would have thought that when we opened the gym we'd have like an arm wrestling like captain or coach or somebody come here and like start teaching people. And it's actually gotten like, I feel like it's also opened up a lot of eyes to a lot of the members that we have here because they see the arm wrestling table there, they see you guys practice. I'm sure you've had a couple members just come
Oh
and
yeah.
practice, right? Just
Oh yeah, hop
randomly.
on the table. Heck yeah, we've had a few guys just come on over and test it out.
Yeah.
And again, our goal is always teach you, not to beat you. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to come out. Come on over. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And you guys have practice every Sunday, basically.
Every
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, yeah, 1 to 4 p.m. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys definitely want to like, give it a shot, try it out, you can definitely come by Sundays. They're pretty much here all day, majority of the day, just arm wrestling. But yeah, man, I gotta tell you, like, so I've never really, I mean, I arm wrestled back when I was like high school, just like on like lunch tables and stuff like that. But I remember I've arm wrestled with Dan a couple times. Dan's trained me a couple times. We've just done like some regular like sessions, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like I've tried like his arm wrestling workout and
Selection.
stuff. Dude, I get so freaking like beat up like in this like tendon area here.
Mm-hmm.
Um like is there anything that you can do to like improve that, or is there any exercise that you do to like help that? Because I'm sure people have probably tried it out and they've probably felt the same pain here. That like tendon, I don't even know what it is, tendonitis probably. Like what do you do? Like what do you recommend usually for something like that, or for beginners, I guess?
No, recommendation for that is don't give up, because a lot of times that's the reason why people don't come back because you're not used to that pain right there. It's like
Yeah,
you could do all the bicep curls in the world, you could do any lift you want really, but you're just not used to it until you get on the table. So the
yeah,
only way to really get over that is to keep getting table time and recovery. So it's like
yeah,
really about the process, like the true process. You hit the gym and then diet and then of course recovery. So
yeah.
you got to really focus on that. And just you got to keep coming back. So the first time I went on the table and I felt that pain, it lasted for like a whole month. But I was
I
like,
remember that, dude.
yeah, I was
When
like
we
that.
did, I don't, do you remember like the arm wrestling match me and Omar did
Hell
on like
yeah.
the 2 year?
Yeah.
Dude, it was legit pain there for about a month,
Yep.
literally. Me
Heck
and
yeah.
him both, we just suffered like intense pain for like a month after that match, bro.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude.
At
So
that
you
point,
say,
yeah, just rub it out, just get some
yeah,
rubbing going on, get that lactic acid out of there. Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Now that helped a lot. I think, yeah, in general, I think that's all. That was probably my biggest thing, but I could agree. I mean, I think it's the same thing like when people first start in the gym, right? Like they're gonna get super sore probably like the first week, and a lot of them like if they go super hard, that probably might be a reason why they don't come back because they're gonna be so sore that they don't want to come.
Exactly.
But in general, yeah, you're right. Like you just got to keep coming back. Like like you can't give up just because you feel a little bit of pain. After about the next week, it should feel a lot better. And I agree. Like it definitely it should at least, but um solid, bro. So I
Oh,
guess
cool.
like what's like your biggest goal with Desire Athletics, with arm wrestling in general? Like how far do you want to take this?
The biggest goal right now is to find the strongest athletes and get them on the squad. We've definitely got, some strong competitors that are gonna, I think, become national champions pretty soon, in fact.
Mm.
I think Rowan has a good chance of becoming a national champion. I think we got a guy, a newer team member, Arnold Ford. I think he's got a legitimate chance of becoming, at that stage level, at the
Yeah.
national level, and things of that nature. Dan, we got Dan, of course, camp number one arm wrestler, left hand, 154. That's Dan.
Dude, Dan
So,
is freaking crazy.
heck
Yeah.
yeah.
His improvement's also insane from when he first came here, dude.
Yes,
It's
sir.
wild.
And so that's pretty much the goal. We just want to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and just staying consistent. And on a promoting side, I want to have, which I think we've done a pretty good job, locking in 2 open pro tournaments a year. We got the spring tournament and then we got our Halloween pool bash tournament. And as of right now, I'll probably just keep those as the 2 main tournaments that we have, but maybe eventually we'll look into growing into some more tournaments, but we'll see how that goes. We do have the amateur tournament coming up August 22nd. So pretty much the goal is to keep growing the sport of arm wrestling, I suppose. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And just keep getting stronger myself.
That's awesome. Like, do you see yourself like getting on like bigger stages, or like, I guess what would your end goal be for you?
On a personal level, I also want to get to the national, status and compete at worlds and that nature, and
Yeah.
maybe start getting invited to some of the bigger tournaments. Not anytime soon. I got to work for it, you know what I'm saying? But
Uh,
things like King of the Table or East versus West, thing like, it's on my mind. I want to get to that type of strength
yeah.
and that type of recognition or whatnot. And outside of that, yeah, I just want to have more strong people show up to our tournaments that we're hosting.
Yeah.
So finding different ways to get different poolers to come on out is one of my things that I'm working on. And I know a big deal is having a cash pool or a prize, money to give to the athletes because they are working hard.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to return some cash to them. So we're getting there. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like, so not you've been in arm wrestling for a while now. Like, obviously there's amateurs, there's pros. Like, I'm on like, I mean, I kind of follow some arm wrestling. I'm not like super like into like all the athletes and everything like that, so I don't know too much. But for example, like me relating it to like bodybuilding, which is what I like. I know there's amateurs, there's pros, there's people that kind of start out in the middle somewhere, but a lot of them at some point like go into like enhancements or something to get to the next level.
True.
Is that something that's also the same for like arm wrestling? Like, are there guys that are just like enhanced as well? Like,
No, definitely, yes.
okay.
In fact, when I first started the sport, I'm not gonna lie, I was upset that I found out that I guess arm wrestlers can take steroids for the most part. Like no
Uh,
one's drug testing us
yeah.
until you get to that, higher level. There are some organizations where they do drug testing, no doubt about it. But yeah, people definitely take steroids and things like that. No one on our team though. No one on our team. We're the Natty squad. Let's go, the Natty squad. Except for we take creatine, but that's about it. Heck
That's
yeah.
no, but I guess in terms of that though, like, are there then like other people like within the I mean, obviously not on this team, but like in general, like those amateur tournaments or anything like that, like since it's not drug tested, like is it looked down upon, I guess? Or would
No,
you
I
know?
mean, I guess you wouldn't know, and I guess it'd be more individually. Like one time I did hear Devin, or maybe it was Travis or Devin, one of them said it, but it made a lot of sense. They're like, when you get into the sport, what are you willing to do to get to the top? Sometimes if you want to get to the top, you gotta take steroids, just the way
Yeah.
it is. And if that's what you want to do and you're willing to take that risk, then go for it, I suppose. But the longevity of it, I don't know how long you'll last and
Yeah.
things of that nature. And so that's kind of my mind frame with it. Like I don't want to start taking something that when I get off it, it's gonna have a major effect in
Effect
a
on you.
bad way,
Yeah.
just to get to somewhere where I'll only be at the top for a limited time anyways.
Yeah.
So,
How long would you say like the average arm wrestler has like in terms of like their lifetime competing, right? Like, or just in general, like, because like, like football players have like a certain window of being their best, right? And then at some point, maybe injuries catch up or whatever, right? Like, what would you say like a timeline for like a healthy arm wrestler is usually? Like, can they do
uh,
that all their life? Is it only
yeah,
for like 5, 10 years or
I
like,
think depending on how you take care of your body, you could do a long time. Some like the greatest of all time is actually from McHenry, Illinois. John Brezink, he's been doing it since he was 18, and he's probably like at least 60 right now, and he's still one of the top in the game, and he's been at the top for 20 plus years, 25 plus years, 30 plus years.
yeah,
And so as long as you're taking care of your body and you could last a long time in this sport. And then there's other guys like Todd Hutchins. He didn't even start arm wrestling until he was 35,
Hmm.
and he's at a top level. So it's one of those sports where I think you can stay in it long term as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're not getting into arm break positions and things like that. And
Yeah.
so I think the longevity is pretty long. Yeah.
Now, kind of going into that, right? Like, I'm sure there's many people that've probably seen like the videos of like people doing like an arm wrestling match or something at a bar table, and then bam, someone's freaking elbow just goes all the way freaking the other
Yeah.
way, right? How often does that happen? Is that like a thing that happens like all the time?
I don't think it happens all the time. It can happen at any time though.
Yeah.
And usually it's when, in my opinion, it's during like amateurs or people who are less experienced on the table.
Uh-huh.
And then it's hard to catch for the ref because they get out of position so quick before the ref can stop the match. The other guy who doesn't notice it is already pulling.
Yeah.
So like if you're going against, so let's just say I'm in a tournament and I'm going against somebody that I know I'm just gonna beat, like I'm gonna carefully put them down.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And the reason I do that is because if they do get out of position, I know not to keep going. I'm gonna, wait for them to get in the position, wait for the ref to do something to get them in the position, and then I'll put them down. But it's a terrible sight to see. You
Yeah.
just don't want to see it. It does happen, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But I think the best way to prevent it is just learning safety and technique and going to practice and getting table time.
When would you say like most people get injured usually? Is it like when they like look away or they turn away or something from like their
So
arm or
pretty
something?
much, if you keep your eye on your hand, you're always going to stay in a non-break position. But the moment, let me just get somewhere. Well, they can see me. So if your elbow gets outside of your shoulder and you start looking away, that's when the humerus right here is going to break and just snap. And so if you keep it in nice and tight, your arm's going to go down like it should,
Yeah.
essentially. But if you go like this, it's just going to snap.
Yeah, right. Because like someone's pulling you this way, and that. Yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Dang, that's wild. Like, how many times have you seen that like happen? Like
One
on a
time
table?
live. One time. Well, no, okay, twice. One time in Wisconsin. And then, unfortunately, one time at one of our tournaments at Crossroads. But
Oh shoot,
heck yeah.
that sucks. Ouch. And how long is that like injury usually last for? Like how? Like I guess when somebody is that like a career ruining injury, or like you can never arm wrestle again, or like what happens?
I think it's going to depend. So if it's a nice clean break, you actually grow back stronger. It's almost like a superpower. All of a sudden, now your arm is just
More
like,
solid.
yeah, more solid. I guess that's what a lot of guys who had their arm broke say. And then, so it's better to have an arm break than a bicep tear. We'll just start
Okay.
off with that because it's easier to come back from an arm break. You grow back stronger. The bicep tear, you got to do the whole tying and all that good jazz. So, it's definitely something you can come back from. I think
Yeah.
I've never had to deal with it, but my mind is thinking it might be more of a mental barrier to get back on the table than anything.
Mm,
You don't want to break it twice. That would
right.
suck. But usually it does grow back stronger. So,
That's wild.
heck
I guess
yeah.
that makes sense though, because yeah, I've heard like if there's enough tension on bones and all that stuff, like it definitely strengthens the bones. I didn't know that though. Like I guess if it breaks, you said some arm wrestlers like feel like they almost like have like a reinforced arm to a
Yeah,
degree.
pretty much. Yeah, it's
That's
like
insane.
superpower. Yeah.
Um, so on another part, like kind of like similar to bodybuilding, like there's a lot of genetics that kind of play into sports. I mean, just like any sport, right? Like basketball, like you don't see anybody that's like 5'6" doing basketball, right? Or
Right.
professional basketball.
Not professional.
So like genetically, is there like some kind of genetic trait or something that you've seen that most guys have that others don't maybe? And that
That
kind of like helps them? Is there something like that with arm wrestling too?
I would say so. I think it's going to be the hand. If you
Okay.
got a giant hand,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you got an advantage. It's really that simple. I mean, a lot of guys with small hands like me, they can still be great, but at the end of the day, if you got a giant hand, I mean,
It's just
it's
more
harder to
square
grip.
footage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like imagine this being someone's hand and I'm trying to like grip it and I can't even get around their thumb. It's going to make it hard for me to arm wrestle them and get a good position and things of that nature and get a good grip and feel comfortable. So if you got one hell of a hand, then you got better odds of winning.
Even if they're like skinny.
Yeah, even if they're skinny, it's actually funny you say that because a lot of times there's some people they don't even look strong, but they're tall, lanky, they got big hands and a long arm. But like guy like me who used to be like 240, I'm thinking, well, I'll go beat that guy because they're just tall and lanky. But you get on the table, all of a sudden their hands got a higher lever and leverage, I should say. and then boom, they get the grip and they just smash you. And I remember I was like 240 and I lost to a guy that was like 170. And at first, you know, and I just had to stop real quick because arm wrestling will crack or break your ego. If you got an ego, it will break your ego. Yeah.
100%.
So,
100%. Yeah.
and that's another thing that gets people to leave this sport because their ego gets hurt and they're like, they don't come back. But luckily, my ego was broken and I came back. And instead of quitting, I wanted to get stronger. But yeah, a big hand will definitely help.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy. I never thought. I mean, I guess yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, like I've seen like the videos of like those like Russian like giant freaking arm wrestlers. I forgot his name. Like Dennis
Dennis, yeah.
Setback.
So I can't pronounce the last time right now. But
Yeah, with a C or something. Yeah. His hands are legit like almost like double my fingers. Like each finger is like a freaking sausage and like his hand is just like stiff. Like it's like who the hell can like take this guy down? Like that's insane. But no, that's wild, man. But I guess in general then if I wanted to start like competing, right? Let's say I wanted to just like get into like my first match, I wanted to start my amateur arm wrestling career, right? Like what would be like the biggest things you would recommend to me to start out? Like what should I do?
Excuse me. First things first, find a team to practice with. You know, you got to get to practice. I mean, you're not going to learn anything by just watching YouTube videos in this sport. I mean, really any sport really, but you got to get to practice and then you got to starting to figure out what works best for you, you know. For the most part, I always try to get the guys to do a top roll or a hook when they first start off. A lot of guys on our team at first they wanted to do like a shoulder press, but you always steer away from the shoulder press right away because that's more advanced technique and it's easier to get hurt when you try and do a shoulder press, especially for a beginner. So pretty much just learn the basics, get to a team that can teach you the basics, and then get to an amateur tournament. Like don't go straight to open pro unless that's all you know have available, I guess. But get to as many amateur tournaments as you can. You got to get that experience with the ready go with the referees. Because that's tough to get in practice sometimes.
Like the ready, set, pull or oh, okay, yeah. That's the one thing I see a lot when I've been to the tournaments. That's one thing I see a lot is that like there's a lot of guys that have to like reset or then they have to like get wrapped around and like
heck yeah.
Can you explain that actually? Like so at a tournament, right? Like I know you guys start just regular and the referees have to set up your hands, all that stuff, make sure you're even. But then after a certain while they have that little like tool or like the strap, yeah. So why, like, what does that do, I guess, in general? What does the strap do?
So the strap pretty much just eliminates the process of slipping hands.
Okay.
So in my opinion, it just doesn't, it helps not prolong the match because if these guys are just going to keep slipping and slipping, you know, let's tie them together. Let's get this match, you know.
Just rolling.
Yeah. So you get strapped up and then you can't go anywhere at that point. It's either you're going to find out who's the strongest.
So once you're strapped there, like you can't really move your hand around. Like
not much. Yeah. I mean, you want to try and fight for position. And a little pro tip that I learned from Ed Grossman is you want to have your strap to be a little bit higher than the other guy. So if, like, let's just web hands real quick.
Yeah.
So if we're webbing hands, I want my strap to be higher than his webbing, if that makes sense.
Oh.
So that way when I position you, I can
kind of wrap around my thumb.
Yeah. And I've got like a higher hand. And a lot of time high hand wins, but some people might debate that, but I think a high hand typically will win and things of that nature. And so
do you feel stronger with the strap on?
Definitely, yeah. At first I hated the strap, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, F this strap. I just wanna, you know, I just wanna grip up and go.
Yeah.
But it does help eliminate sometimes if the other opponent has a stronger grip than you, then when you're strapped up, then at that point the only thing that matters is like strength essentially, you know, like back pressure, hand and things like that. So it kind of helps the weaker gripped person to have an equal advantage, I guess, or you know what I'm trying to say, like equal bearings, heck yeah, equal grounds. So and then a lot of guys who know that they'll try and go straight to the straps. They'll just say, hey, you want to go to the straps before the match starts. And sometimes when I was what's it called, beginning in the sport, I would just agree to it and then get smoked. And then sometimes those guys outside of the strap, I was able to actually do something. So I learned don't go straight to the strap sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to earn it.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. Yeah, because I think it's like you got to train yourself without like some kind of assistance, right? Like in the beginning, like it's better off just like doing just regular arm wrestling just with your arm. I kind of see it kind of like wearing wrist wraps in the gym or like elbow sleeves or stuff like that, right? I'm sure there's people that need it, obviously, but like I think you should also learn just how to grip weight without assistance first,
Heck
and
yeah.
then maybe use it later, right? Something like that. But no, that makes sense. It's all right, bro. Well, in general, man, I kind of want to end things off a little bit. Just kind of like recollecting all the things you've done for us, man. Like, you've been an insane help for us, like here at the gym. I mean, honestly, like I said, just from the beginning, I never would have thought that we would have like an arm wrestling coach, like somebody that's actually here developing a team. And everyone here at the Cage Gym is super proud, super happy of all the things that you've done.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. It's awesome. We love seeing you guys grow. And, if you guys take this nationally, take this to like insane levels, like we're here to help you out, 110% every step of the way. So, we're super proud of everything you've done. So it's fucking awesome.
Well, thank you. Hell yeah.
Of course. So, I guess very last parting words. What are any couple words that you want to throw at the viewers or anybody here that's watching or anything like that?
Well, if you want to try out arm wrestling, you know where to find us in Lake County. Come on down to the Cage Gym in Mundelein. We're here Sunday from 1 to 4, virtually every Sunday, but follow us on Facebook as well, Desire Flex Facebook page. That's where I do all the updates for practice and events and things of that nature. Quick shout out to Grip Decks, Grip Deck Tools, Zach. And then we also just want to do a shout out to Plowman, the arm wrestler, for the Big Blue. Heck yeah. We bring these to practice as well. And then the rest of our squad has other various attachments that they bring. So when you come to practice, we got plenty of arm wrestling attachments for you here at the gym. There is an arm wrestling membership available. It's only $35 a month, but it's only available if you plan to come to practice. All right, we're not just giving away $35 a month just because. It's for a reason. It's to help us, build practice for Sundays and things of that nature, along with the $10 day pass on Sundays, only Sundays during practice times. You know what I'm saying? If we're not hosting a practice that day, then it'll be the regular $20 day pass. And big shout out to the gym for, hooking us up with that type of membership opportunity and just day pass opportunity. It helps us grow. And there's always a table here 24/7. The last thing I'll say is be strong for something and never give up. Let's go. And thank you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
sir.
you, bro. But shit.
All right.